As we've discussed, it can sometimes be challenging as a parent to feel a strong emotional bond with your child who has DLD due to communication challenges. So it's so important to understand different ways that you can connect with and love your child. In Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages of Children, he lists out 5 main ways kids like to receive and give love. These are words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and gifts. I would encourage you to check out this awesome resource and think about and perhaps talk with your children about what ways that they most like to give and receive love. Maybe they love to snuggle, or maybe they like to spend quality time together doing puzzles, or maybe buying them a new Pokemon card really speaks to their heart. You might also recognize some ways your child is showing love to you that may have been in a modality that you weren't expecting or picking up on previously. Suddenly discovering that your child is communicating love to you by picking you dandelions or giving you their favorite rock or wanting to spend time showing you how they moved up a level in their video game can help you move from a place of annoyance to a place of receiving their love and greater feelings of intimacy for both of you. Your positive response to your child's gifts or desire to spend quality time with you, even if it's not your top choice of activity, that can do wonders for relational intimacy with your child. When that bond continues to grow and flourish, the two of you are that much more able to tackle challenges together from a place of love and safety. So then, when stress creeps in and conflict arises, your child will sense your inner tension. So I encourage parents to mentally go through some affirmations and relaxation techniques prior to entering into a conflict. So then you can be calm, patient, and remember that almost always your child really doesn't want to fight against you. If your child is crying because they don't want to do their homework, remind yourself that your child is doing something really hard and you can be their solid rock and their safe place. When you prepare yourself, you can say things to yourself like, I can be a calm, safe place for my child right now. When it's time to practice reading or do homework and you feel anxiety start to bubble up in your chest because you know your child is going to whine and resist, it's important to stop and calm yourself first. It can feel overwhelming as a parent to do all the things, even without DLD at play. So do what you need to do, like taking some deep breaths, saying a prayer, which is my favorite strategy, mentally reciting some affirmations from the handout, or whatever works best for you to get your emotions and anxiety in check first so you can be a calm, safe place for your child. I love involving my kids in discussions about conflict when we're not in a time of conflict, and giving them power and choice. We can think about our child's thinking together, developing their metacognitive awareness and executive function skills. Perhaps I take my daughter out for ice cream, and as we calmly sit licking our cones, I could say something like, I noticed yesterday when I asked you to read your booklets with me, you got really upset. What do you think would make it easier for you when it's reading practice time? Listening to our kids can be hard sometimes for us as parents, but it is such a valuable use of our time. When kids feel like a partner whose opinion is valued, they are much more likely to come up with a solution that actually works. Your daughter may inform you that she would prefer to have a 30-minute timer on with a 5-minute warning so she can play and relax after dinner before reading with you. Or maybe she feels like reading 3 books is too many, and you could scale back and do 1 per day as you guys start out, and then move up to 3 slowly. As you help your child think about possible solutions, you are also facilitating cognitive flexibility development. She has just engaged with you in problem solving, planning, and flexible brainstorming. Then after your next reading practice time, it would be great for her to engage in some self-evaluation. How did your idea to have a break first and use a timer with 30 and 5-minute warnings help you approach your reading practice time? Should we use this strategy next time, or should we try something else? What an invaluable skill even a kindergarten or primary school child can develop when they are an active partner in these types of metacognitive discussions. Also, you will have increased the level of trust between yourself and your child as you take the time to truly listen and involve her in a plan for moving forward. Your child will feel like an active, valued conflict resolution team member when things are handled this way. I also like to use an emotion wheel or zones of regulation visuals, and I'd advise you to check in with your child's teacher about what social emotional program is in use in their school, and then consider using it at home as well, so the language is consistent. If your child is in the red zone, meaning they are angry, out of control, or panicked, it can be helpful to acknowledge and validate those feelings with your child right away. The other day, my son was feeling a ton of anxiety about his blood test later that morning. Instead of just telling him, "Come on, it won't be that bad, you're a big boy now, you can do it," I started off by validating his feelings. I said, "I know that going for a blood test feels really scary for you. You're worried it's going to hurt, and you feel trapped and like you don't have any control of the situation. You don't want anybody taking out your blood, and you feel like there's nothing you can do to stop this. Those feelings are really hard. You feel trapped, scared, and misunderstood, right?" When I said this, my son shed a few tears, and then he was so much more willing to proceed because his feelings had been validated. I also gave him an opportunity to correct me if I had misinterpreted anything. When you use a visual like an emotion wheel or a zones of regulations poster, your child can refer to it to help them with vocabulary deficits they may have as they're trying to express their feelings. As your kids get older, you can teach them to identify their own feelings more independently, helping them feel safe when those big feelings threaten to completely overwhelm them. It may be helpful to also have a visual on the wall with calming strategy options. Some kids like to take deep breaths, others like to visualize something happy, others want a tight hug, while others might need to take a short break prior to continuing. You can model, when we feel really angry, we can't learn and we can't move forward, we need to use a calming strategy to help ourselves think clearly. Looking at the poster you have on the wall can remind everybody of some options when it's hard to decide how to help ourselves. Wouldn't it be amazing to overhear your children in a disagreement and then hear your child with DLD who, because of all your hard work, has developed stronger metacognitive awareness skills? Imagine you heard them say, "I'm feeling really angry right now. I need to take a quick break," or "I need a tight hug, and then we can try to solve this problem." Our children watch us every day. When we get an upsetting text, when we burn dinner, when our partner upsets us, we can identify our emotions out loud to our kids who are watching. "I'm so angry I burned dinner. I spent 40 minutes making it, and now it's ruined. I need to take some deep breaths, and then I will be able to think clearly so that I can come up with some solutions." That's great modeling for your child without requiring them to do anything at all themselves. Though it is definitely easier said than done. I am also a big fan of modeling varied emotion words to our kids so they have specific vocabulary to accurately identify their feelings to themselves and others. Instead of just using words like happy, sad, upset, we can try to incorporate other emotion words into our daily activities, especially since our kids with DLD may not pick up on this vocabulary as quickly as other children. For example, when watching a show, reading a book, cheering at a sister's soccer game, model the emotions that you notice using words like disappointed, frustrated, embarrassed, overwhelmed, terrified, thrilled, and shocked. When your child is familiar with these more specific feeling words, you are equipping them with skills to understand and communicate about more specific emotions in the future. Like we said before, an emotion wheel poster can help you with this if you need suggestions. I am cheering you on as you work on these areas with your child.